the name of He who is the Lord.
Have you not heard that word is bond? Regardless of who or what. Can anybody find any part of that sentence that leaves room for word not being bond?
I'm good. Thank you.
Is there such a thing as word is not bond? I can hardly believe that unless I was deaf. Yes, my word is bond, and bond is life. And I will give my life before my word shall fail. The word is bond, and nobody can change that. Nobody. If you are pimp, and everything that comes out your mouth is what? That fast talking pimp say here. Correct? Because your word is bond to the life you live. If you a hooker, her word is bond to the life she lives. Tell what she is and what she's not. When the earth speaks, you don't see the earth. Because the words that come out of her mouth are bond to the life she lives. That's what that listen means. The words are not never be bond unless it says that I will give my life before my word shall stand. So the only way it is right? Or anybody that's going contrary to the righteousness of their life. The only way, before their word shall fail. In other words, their word can fail, but before it did, they have to what? Give their life. Think of every word that has knowledge of self today. And what they had and the life they lived before they accept the knowledge of themselves. It was a totally different lifestyle. But before they could come to the nation of God's earth, their word as hookers or whatever the hell they were had to fail. But before it failed, he gave it up. I'm giving it up. I'm not living that no more. That's not my way. I'm changing my way of life. That's the way of life is. But they gave up their life. Meaning the lifestyle they lived before they got knowledge of self. They gave it up. That's what it means when it says, and I shall give my life before my word shall fail. And there was your presentation because the lady says that word is born and born is life. So today, I'm going to give a presentation on life. There are many elements that produce life. Many of them we get in our vegetables, many of them we get in our food. But there's one element that was designed to give us life, health, and a strong immunity system. But the devil stole that. He took the gold and the silver out the mountain. This silver that was in the mountains, when it rained, the water would accumulate in silver and bring it to the rivers, the oceans, the lakes. So whenever we use water, that water was used to nourish our plants, right? The food we eat, what we drank. But without no silver in the mountain, the water was lacking an element that maintained our physical existence on this planet and protected us against disease. And that element was silver. And he said, the werewolf was killed out. So the silver book. The silver, because it was the silver in the book that destroyed the bacteria and the disease that caused him to go through everything he goes through. Which in that story was the werewolf. Two physicists were experimenting with what they call colloids of silver. They have plates with blood samples on it. Each blood sample and each plate has different disease. AIDS, cancer, various other diseases. So they put these colloids of silver on these plates. When the night was over, each one left, thinking that the other one had put away the plates with blood on it. When they ended on the count of whatever bacteria was on that plate, in other words, the count of AIDS had went down. Cancer had went down. So they continued it for a few more weeks. They put the blood. They left it out. Unbelievable that the blood acid was. But the test finally showed that the AIDS could no longer be detected in the blood that was AIDS infected. That the cancer could not be detected in the blood that had cancer. They thought they made a fantastic discovery. Found you exactly. You know how life goes, they get into their computer. Everything got to be computerized. So as they go to the computer, they start realizing that under that topic, that they were going to label their stuff on it. And this is what we need. Hold up. This is reality. American Medical Association, CDC, disease control, all of them knew about this. But they had it labeled in the computer as suppressed medical information. Now, in this day and time, it's the law to say that colloidal silver is a cure. If you say, this is a cure, they'll lock you up. There was a doctor called Dr. Hunter Clark. He wrote 3 books. The cure for HIV and AIDS, the cure for cancer, and the cure for all diseases. She's now in Mexico, teaching in Mexico because her life is endangered in the United States. You got to say this is research, unless you just don't care. And a whole bunch of this is for cure. Today, colloidal silver is electrically charged particles of silver. As y'all look, y'all notice I have 2 metal rods. Each of them rods is pure silver. The energy from a non-voltage battery gives off an electrical current that causes electrically charged particles of silver to spread themselves in the water. That's what makes the water turn cloudy, and you'll see. The water turning cloudy is because particles of silver, they're electrically charged, and on a molecular level, are suspended themselves in the water. That's the word colloidal means. Colloidal means something that's suspended itself in something else. The universe go on. Every planet, asteroid or whatever, is suspended. That's our body. We are the universe. Every element in our body is suspended. Nothing stops. It's suspended and functions as the universe functions. This is on a molecular level. That cloud you see is molecular level of silk. Unlike antibiotics and penicillin, it doesn't attack a disease or a bacteria from the outside. It absorbs itself within the bacteria and suffocates it from inside. There is no resistance to silk. There is no development immunity to silk. Silver is ultimately, other than healthy lifestyle, curing and destroying bacteria, germs, and fungi is in your body. Take that water. Stir it. If you were to take a sip and swallow it, before you swallow it, the tongue will absorb it from the soup and transmit it directly to your bloodstream. If you have no immunity, it becomes your immunity. In other words, it will now enter your bloodstream and do that which your blood cells are supposed to do. But all your blood cells might be infected with the HIV or AIDS virus. It might be infected. So they cannot help you so much. But now this will not only enter them cells and suffocate the disease out of them, and also do their job, which is to attack any foreign elements or bacteria in the body. Now, if y'all want, y'all come up, one by one, and look at the water, you know, and see how it's clouded up. That cloud is an electrically charged particle of silk. That's what you call colloidal silk. No matter what you have, it should, it should be a cure for every disease. There is nothing that will withstand the effects of silk that is not natural. Silk will not attack anything natural, but it will attack anything that is not natural in the body, causing harm. Two brothers. I can bring no with me, but I have papers that give you certain information on how this process is developed. I have a university on where to call for information, take books, people that are following, and elaborate on this a little better than I can. So I just brought this here to show y'all that there are means for us to cure ourselves of any disease that we have if we choose to do so. You want to go to the doctor, you want to go to the hospital, that's your business. And Hakeem said, and all you do is take the organ out and sell it to somebody else, you know, and you see that happening. Ain't that sure? Tell you the root of the disease that we have. Every disease we got comes from what we eat. Every disease we got comes from what you eat. You change your diet. You stop eating milk, eggs, cheese, and you will not have a disease because disease needs mucus in order to survive. If there's no mucus there for disease, get somebody with AIDS. And if there's no mucus in their body, Because there's no meat they can live on. That's why they have books called mucus-free diet. When you stop eating food that has mucus in it, your life will come a whole lot, a whole process. Healthy. That's why the earth God serves food that has no mucus.
Hey, Scott. I got it.
Even though you kind of struggling with teeth struggling, then if you know that soy also has a high acid. So a man got to be trying to get soy.
Slow down. Don't hurt yourself.
And within that topic that we build on, we get on the top. So this is the best way to do it. So you feel comfortable with each other. Now, we ask people to sit down. We ask people to We ask people to sit down and speak. Because you feel more relaxed that way. You understand? When you stand up, your voice echoes. You understand that when you're going from one level of vibration to another level of vibration by being excited. That's the reason why we ask you to sit down and speak. Because we're not here to put fear in no one. We're not here to take someone away. We want everybody here to get to know each other. We want everybody here to feel comfortable with each other. When we used to do it the old way, we had brothers take the rally over as a hospital. This way, you don't have nobody take it over the rally as a hospital. Because everybody I got some information, you know, because he's doing hit my camera like this, that 7 form asked us where did we get this idea from. We've been being thought of talking about doing this file. So 7 form, so Jamel and I, this is how it follows. So we need to go back to the old so we did it. You know, you feel warm, you feel welcome. You know, I've been around a long time. I got 42 years. And I'm proud about it. I see you coming up. I see the real good brother come and go.
Okay, and that's gonna pull it from there and put it.
That's what your father. But then, we know how we roll back to the days. You understand? Because the way we got it back in the days wasn't the way the father wanted it. It was the idea first. Then the father put a stop to that. We are a family. Remember that. We are a family. Every person that you sit next to, you should look at. Get to know them. Because there ain't nobody in this world going to protect you. What this man? You understand me? I still keep them. And there are sisters in here that keep the system. Where they got it back there. And that's what it's about. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Bring your children out so they can get to know the other children around here. Because if your children don't know the rest of each other around here, one day they're going to go and kill each other. Because that's what's happening now. Don't talk, don't talk. Go for the baby. Where are they? Oh, my baby. Let's go. All of my babies are at the you understand? My children was birthed into this world. And I didn't force nothing on them. I didn't force nothing on them. Everybody said the children of me were born into this nation. Children, let me correct that. Children are birthed into this nation. And you and I, as one of the fathers, don't put nothing on the child. Because they have a right to choose the way they live when they get older. When they're old enough to my house, we don't pay them nothing. That's just how it is. That's the way it's meant to be. You know? And the way black families do things out here. With a lot of love. We spend a lot of love to a lot of people. And that's what it is. Because I got my pocketbook. Ain't nobody wants to. Because this is the way it was meant to be. You know? God told me a dope today. I cursed it out. I'm 10 years old. I ain't gonna never be an adult. That's right. What you said? I ain't gonna never be an adult. I'm 10 years old. My man commanded to announce the ball. Now when you see 55 at, announce the ball.
I get up here.
this is how it is. This is how it is. Reading my own proclamation that everybody understands. Lord Jesus.
That's what you know how to make.
Nobody else. It's the end.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? That's from love. That's from love. You understand how we became brothers because we walked, talked, and we broke bread together. Then you see me as kids, no focus on people. So you know me. You know why? Because you don't know me. That's the way we were taught. Say this what you said to do. Walk off with each other, break bread. Because if we do that, you kill the jealousy. You understand? Instead of we got to present both jealousies at one time. But if you don't get together with your brothers and sisters, how you present this for them? Because in order to present the four devils at one time, you must know your brother and your sister. That's the only way. We are a family, regardless to whom over. I can sit here and tell you how Universal Black Family got together. Started out as newspaper. Went from a newspaper to Universal Black Family. Hey, boy. You know something? When we go somewhere, we travel with. We travel together. And that's the way it's meant to be. For eternity. And we move right now. Because if anything happens to me, the boy got to be turned over. We're young. This is how we pass the baton. See, we started something, and it's going to live a long time. Longevity. That's what's about. If you do something in your area, then do it. But I give you this free knowledge. When you do it completely, I've seen so many things done in this place. With brothers and sisters that you're going to start it. How you going to prove who you are? Start something. That's what's about. You know, we're going to end this round early tonight. We're going to turn the floor over to the front. Hey, keep this day in mind, please. All right. April 14th. Hey, anybody got a flyer? Yeah. What I was saying is that we'll say a lot of things, you know, I want to make, we'll call about the death situation, you know, and in my upcoming in this nation, and I've been now it's not about you know, and when you set this now, a lot of times, we set for ourselves. We be selfish sometimes. And a lot of times we forget about our past.
we had, you know, children day, we bring our children. We get about our mothers, our fathers. You know, and we got to teach, we got to educate. And the best I pay for, the brothers, article said, what we teach. The first degree says that we teach that black people are the million people of the planet Earth. So how do your parents understand the nation of God on earth if you don't bring them? Because they might have no understanding if you don't bring them around. But if you bring them around and you start teaching them, you begin to get a better understanding of who we are and decide what the media had to take of projecting us. Because the media is going to get us in the negative light. The best person who can tell this history is those who live it. That's the best person who can tell this history. For example, I come out of Mexico, and when I come home, my old dad used to go to the school, and at the end of the guard, say, you see the mom? But then he knew that they know who I was in. And that was the problem. Because he knew that if they know that I'm safe, I know that my son is safe. You understand? And this is the part that we got to build with our family. A lot of times, we don't build with our family in terms of nation building. You know, we build on individual level. But you don't go on individual. Just like when y'all talk about the dad. Just like I told my old dad, I said, listen, you my mom. It wasn't wrong. But when it comes to my dad, my wife ACG got to say something. And all y'all got to do is Bible. Give her the more support, okay? Because that's my wife, she earned that position. Give her that more support. Whenever she want to lay down, then y'all support her with that. Don't march against her, march with her. You understand? And that's how you teach. You teach your family. Okay, this is not going to stop. There was a brother named Nine Blow. He went to Harvard Press. He wrote an article called God in the Ghetto. Okay? You know, and that was one of the most important articles that changed my whole way of thinking around it. You understand? Because I knew that I had a bond to the community. I had a responsibility to the community. Why? Because I was the God of that community. Okay? Just like I tell God every day. I didn't come from Mexico. God came from the universe. Whether you can be started at, whether it be Piedmont, Virginia, the desert, Staten Island, it's immaterial. I came from the universe. I'm a universal God. Therefore, I'm a universal builder. And a universal builder gonna build wherever we go. You understand? My job is to enhance the young, enhance their understanding, so they can see what I see, so they can acknowledge what I have now. See, because one thing I learned from the Father, He protected us with His life. Now, this is thinking that we got to do. We got to protect one another, not to assassinate one another's characteristics. Okay? I'm not greater than you. Even though I may have been incorporated, you know, before you got it, but still, I'm not greater. I'm still learning. I'm a student who's being enrolled to the culture of our God each and every day, to show and prove that God teaches the righteous way. Okay, when I manifest my spine, I manifest from a God perspective. If it ain't coming from a God perspective, then it's not mathematics. Okay? Mathematics is more mathematics than black man manifest both. Every day. When we say, have you not heard word is born? Yes, my word is born, my born life. I should give my life to that. When people do not no longer be able to your intelligence has gone earth, then your word has failed. Your word has failed. That degree is a first certificate degree. 9 million stars known through the wisdom. That manifestation is going to understand it and put it in a culture that gave us the power to show our equality to the people and let them know that God's about a morning through a building process that was born so they can now disciple and to be enlightened of God's culture, of God's teaching. So you got to be grounded in your teaching. You got to be grounded in 120. Because if you don't use your 120 degrees as your example, then what is something call me the devil. That's what you is. You the devil. There's no standing my game. I'm gonna call you what you is. You the devil, I'm God. You the wicked of the wicked world, and I'm the righteous of the righteous world. Let's don't get that thing twisted. You understand? And that's how you got to apply it. The same thing with the young. You got to apply it to the same way. Because a lot of them don't understand. So who the best know of those who understand with those who came before us? Who wrote the history? We wrote the history. The knowledge we want to point to who write the history. We are living in spirit history. We are walking through wrong. Or walking through wrong. All we got to do is keep writing it and keep living it, and they'll keep bearing witness to it. That's all we got to do. We ain't got to fight one another. I don't despise no brother. I don't care where he comes. I know one thing, that my name is God the Bible education. I got a purpose. That is to educate the world, okay? And that's what I'm going to do regardless of anybody. Wherever I go. Sometimes my wife will want and I'll go at her. She said, you start early in the morning. I said, that's what I'm doing is best at in the morning. Okay? Not in the afternoon, not at night. Okay? The first thought to be the build process. When you walk out that door, you don't know who's going to test you. Okay? And when we're trying to get to you to get to me, that's not happening. That's not happening. But you don't know how to do it. The devil is a conniving dude, man. He's conniving. And he's clever. He'll come through the wisdom to get to the knowledge. It won't happen not in this home. Maybe in another home. But not in this home. Okay? That's how you got to know. You got to educate them. You got to sit down and teach them your woman, man. Not just making babies. Come on. That's only one part of the production of life. That's only one part of procreation. But how many do have babies and the babies ain't being taught? You know what I'm saying? Come on. I asked the brother one day, I said, how much that cost, God? I said, now a cycle. He said, huh? I said, now a cycle. He said, huh? I said, 10 hours. Then he gets me on. And I said, God damn! Something wrong with that motherfucking picture. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if the understanding is improper, then the knowledge and wisdom got to be improper. Because it's partly about a protocol. If you teach it in your home, it's going to be manifest when it come out the home. If you're not teaching your home, it's going to be manifested through characteristics, man. Okay? It's just like, listen, I will add nothing but a righteous woman on earth. God's will, okay? Anything other than that, don't satisfy me. Me and her ain't going to see eye to eye, because life and death has no partnership whatsoever, according to my mathematics. Okay, a lot of Muhammad say death is an unconscious stage. I don't know about being unconscious. I've been conscious from the time I came out of the womb of a woman. And I'm going to continue to be conscious. And I'm going to continue to manifest God constantly. I'm going to continue to live off the profession of God. Because there's nothing independent about God. God is the perfect being. So we manifest this time outside from a God perspective. Each and every day, we ain't got to worry about it. That little fight that be going on between Mecca, Medina, the Bronx, listen, that's immaterial. I come from the universe. I go to Born Black God every day and build with it. Born Black said, what's the problem down the line? It ain't no problem. I said, it's just a new sign, and I want to see how it's going down, so I come to my brother who I know what he said to deal with it. See, we're all skillful. We all got skills, man. You got to recognize what skill that you're capable of doing. Mine, I like to teach. That's mine. Because I can talk, bro, for real. I can go on and on and on. He'll tell you. The police will tell me. The police will tell me I'm normal. Shut up, the man. He said, this is my house. It ain't your house. This is my house. The universe belongs to me. You're just a problem of the universe. The only one that you fear is God. Why? Because I'm the only one that can destroy you. You don't. Hey, I'm sorry. All that agent me. Okay? But you know, I'm the one that can destroy the devil. So why should I fear him if I know that
that I made you. See, there's a difference. You got a made man, you got a made devil, you got a real devil, and can you form him devil? Okay? Those are different characteristics of the real devil. And he'll fool you if you don't study your lesson. He'll trick you. But one thing he can't do, he can't trick God. God made the devil. And he's saying to understand the destroying breed that he'll come back in one day and destroy the devil without forming victim to the devil's civilized legacy. I'm sure you know little example. They said the expiration date of the devil's civilization is 1914, right? According to the lesson. Then why the devil still in power? My brother said, well, they gave the devil a 7-year grace period. Who gave him that? Because I didn't give him that. So who gave the devil a 7-year grace period? See, right? I never understood that sign. So being I never understood that sign, I never manifest that sign. So what I told my babies is that the devil's civilization, okay, expiration date was 1914. In 1914, black people didn't know who they were. So how you going to destroy the devil if you don't know who you is? So, he said, yeah, Father. I said, well, now, this is where the understanding comes in that, son. Okay? The understanding is that 1914, then Master Barral came in and presented knowledge to the people at that given time. Okay? But, what you have to understand, in order for you to destroy the devil, you got to first destroy the civilization. Because if you destroy the devil's civilization, then there'll be enough for the black man to fall victim too, that he will have to stand up and rule like God. But if you don't destroy civilization, then the devil will always exist. He's going to always exist. What manifests the devil? When a man goes against the culture of laws of mathematics and reduces what? Over self-destruction. Because the devil is self-destruction. But if you manifest your sign on God respected, brother, you can't do nothing but do what God do. A brother told me one day. He said, you keep God on your mind, keep your mind on God, you never have to go knock your mind that all your faith. And all your faith. That's all you got to do, keep God on your mind. Because I used to ask myself, I said, man, if the Lord, what would a Lord do? Then I had to revert the question, what is the Lord going to do? Because I'm one of the greatest sons. As long as I keep the teachers alive, as long as I keep my mathematics and the proper perspective, as long as I got the ability to convert with you and we come to a basic understanding, then I'm doing all right. We got to know how to unite together and not apart. Okay? If you call with a mind, I'm going to tell you that I can do it or I can't.
That's my regular.
Okay? I've been with this man many years. Sometimes we want to kick him out the house. Okay? Because I become home, I be hungry. He's talking about blowing your teeth. God, come on. Some super substance, some super factor. It's cold outside. He's talking about blowing your teeth. See? But that's the brotherhood. Like he was talking about. That's the same brotherhood that we got to put among one another. I mean, with brothers and sisters, sisters and brothers, sisters and the babies. You understand? Because that baby job is not just a certain group of sisters or a certain group of brothers. That baby job is the nation's job. It's the nation's job. It ain't just one brother and sister. You know? We got to educate our babies. A lot of them don't even want to educate the child no more. But we said the education is better. I told Asian me, I said, man, the government never educate black people. He miseducated black people, he misinformed black people, and he misdirected black people. Okay? So who gonna educate the black man but the black man? Huh? The black man's the only one who gonna save the black man. No other man can save you because they don't know how to save you. They're not giving you that skill yet. The man on that sit down and bring that graphic brain. That's all he got. He's 1/3 bigger than that of the original man. He's nothing compared that to me. So why should I fear him? Why should I worry about him? Because whatever I want to do in this world and any other world, then I got the willpower to do so. It's all in me. We got to be more self-confident about our own self. So Sometimes their brother will tell you right now, yeah, God, I'll be there with him. And go outside and get home to a mysterious God. Come on, everything's for real. I've not seen it. He said, well, Elijah Muhammad said this. I said, Elijah was a dog. Elijah was a Muslim. He said he was the last and greatest messenger of Allah. Now, how can a messenger tell God what? And that's how you got to look at it. He only resembled what he could present at that time. Because that was the position of the people at that time. When the law came, he gave us the answer to the question. He made the math. When the good problem in my mom's part, the Muslim come and said, how can you teach that they are the sons and daughters of Allah? The Lord said, how can you be able to do a habit when you never seen? Amazing, that's what wrong with me. Look at the history. Study the history. Read the history. Look what he said. The brother can tell you that. What? My name is Dr. Muhammad. That's his introduction to the world. And then to the black man, Master Parole said that he was here 20 years before he ever made himself known to the world who he was. And the message to the black man. Take your book, read the black history. Take your history and apply it to your lesson. Make it walk and talk. I got a book now called The Message to the White Man and the White Woman on the origins, on the Yaku origin of white supremacy. By a white woman. Her name is Dorothy Blake. Her husband was a follower of Elijah Muhammad. She said when Elijah Muhammad started telling people that black people are devil, she got really high upset with Elijah. But she said as she started traveling to different parts of the world and South America, her to deal with intelligence, and she started to get her own people, started accepting her characteristics because of her great intelligence, that she came to the conclusion that Elijah was like, they are devil. So she said her gift for what black people done in my heart is to write a book and let her people know the very nature of what they are. See, history don't lie. History don't lie. People lie. Mathematics don't lie. People lie on mathematics. Mathematics are not in exact. See, they become all right and done everything right in the day. That's a fact. That's a cumulative and actual fact. That's a fact that I live on every day. Sometimes Agent me give me a set, I'm going to say, you know something? If I got it on you, you're not going to like it. But I pull it back. Because I know how to black my woman is. I know how she is. I know what she can take and what she can't take. Understand? Because sometimes she go off and I got to acknowledge now. I said, you know something, girl? She's right. Give her props. See, sometimes you don't want to give people their props when they deserve their props. See, you got to give due respect to those people. Okay? Because now the wizard work as a cohesive factor. One cannot live without the other. Okay? That's a unified. When you look at your mathematics, understand, it's dealing with your units. Man, woman, child, now I wouldn't understand. Proton, neutron, electron. It's dealing with a unit. If you break that unit, it come discombobulated. It got an unbound universe, an inequality, not a supreme equality. We talk about an inequality. An inequality is something that is outside the cycle of 360 degrees. In the outside of 360 degrees is a mass of illusion, according to the lesson. So now we gotta stay grounded in our teaching. That's what I do. I walk and talk. Even my kids get mad at me sometimes. Oh, that's outdated science. I said outdated science. When did science ever come outdated? Because the same society that you live in is the same society that applies this science. If you read a lesson, it tells you the same thing. Who comes before what? Who's always first that comes from? And if you look at the word who, it says, which one? Before you told you was a wisdom man, he thought he was a wisdom man. So the law had to come back and reverse the tire. That's why he said, son, study your lesson. The first important 2 degrees in your lesson is the first degree, who is the wisdom man, the second degree, who's the color. The first 2 degrees, because if you don't understand those 2 degrees, every other degree will become confusing to you. You must first understand those 2 degrees. Once you understand those 2, But don't form 2 degrees on the most important degree. Okay? And that's why, man, I try to express myself to other brothers and other sisters, man, that, you know, as long as you say God 920, if a person brings something to you and he can't show you 120, then he don't exist. Anything that sounds mathematically not true is not existing to the will of God. That's how I was taught. Okay? And the way that life is given to me is the way I got to give it back to you. I can't change it because of the way I feel. I hear a lot of things sometimes I don't even agree. And I'm just sometimes I tell you the way that's going on. I said, man, what kind of cool stuff that man did? She said, what? I said, well, my lesson don't say that.
You used to.
Well, my lesson say this. And your lesson say what? There's only one set of lessons. We all got the same lesson. I understand maybe vary from time to time. But if we build one another alone enough, then if a person comes to me and asks me who the original man is, and my understanding I give in to be the same thing that born black given, to be the same thing that sister given, to the Asian man given. Because why? We are defined by one nation of people. That way that nobody can walk out and you can't walk out and say, man, they got their box in disgrace. They can't say that. If you're born in the same understanding. And then when they leave here, they should leave with an understanding. Don't know that anybody walk away, man, with no understanding. Because what he's going to do is assassinate the terrorists of God. Okay? And I'm going to snatch him up and take him for a walk. This is my favorite little line when I was young. I said, let me tell you about a story of a man called God. Walk with me, and I'm going to tell you a story of a man called God. His name is Allah. And I'm going to show you how he came to us. And what stage the distance the people was in at that time when he came to us. And look what he's done for me. It made me a better person. I started robbing, I started calling people, okay? I started doing a lot of other things that I know. Because when I go to the corner of mathematics, they got a place for me. And I don't like that place. But you know why? I can't make no babies in that place. See what I'm saying? And we can't see, I can't see y'all and see your smile and your sadness. You understand? And don't get me wrong, dog. There's sometimes they so heated, I just want to punch them out. You understand? But that's you know, that's inevitable. Those things are inevitable. Challenge are inevitable. Contestant is inevitable. Because all they're going to do is bring the best out of you. When a brother does something on me, and he don't agree with me, I go back to my books. I say, well, he ain't going that much. Let me see that go to this process. Because next day I see him, you're going to go to that same degree. See? And that's what they call building. Brothers don't want to build no more. I ain't got to answer no question. My name is Allah. God, the world called the law. I said, since when? Everybody goes on the law, Lord. What did you be on the law? Oh, I've been here 20 years. You've been here 20 years, ain't reduced nobody yet. See what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta check up a man's passion. Okay? Because one thing about me, and y'all will find out, is the bond is the same way all the time, day in and day out. If you say something, and I disagree with that what you say, you guarantee you, I'm going back to the file cabinet on one-on-one and pull it out on you. Okay? Why? Here's the issue. Now, you question that. Don't get mad at me, get mad at Allah. Allah is the one that put that in motion. All I did was enforce it. And presented it in the manner that it needed to present it to the people at that time they needed to hear. You know, please.
Hold on.
I'm sorry. No, that's no problem. We only have time for 2 more speakers, one is a queen, and one is a representative for people.
Please, today's mathematics is knowledge, a little bit more than business. And I just want to make knowledge one about the babies. I hear a lot about this nation being about the babies. But what I'm finding is that we have to define what about the babies are you for. Because there's a lot of gods on earth who are for making the babies, but what happens after? And it's not about, you can't teach my baby because I teach something different at home, or you can't do this the way I can do it because I have knowledge longer than you. It's not even about all of that. It's about us making sure that our babies are on one accord. There's a mass movement in education, again, to the assembly line. They have gotten to the point now where they've taken technology, and now it's amazing. I was teaching my babies how to use calculators, and you have to teach them how to use a calculator to make it more effective. How many of my babies did this? They picked up the calculator and did this. They know how to play video games. There is no thinking anymore. There's no analyzing anymore. They're conditioned to use machines. They're conditioned to know how these machines work. If you ask your baby how PSP works, they will tell you the ins and outs. Okay, so now you know the ins and outs of how this machine works. What does it do? What does it do? They can't tell you what it does because they've never taken the time to actually go through it and tell you what a binary code is. They don't know nothing about that. Right now, the major workforce is in terms of education. There's a high need in technology. You have to be aware of all these things because if you know anything about computers, if you zone out in front of a computer, you can literally go blind. Because of the infrared lights coming from the computer. Our eyes are not conditioned for those infrared lights. So if you're in front of a computer for anywhere from 3 to 5 hours, you're already conditioning your mind for your eyes to shut down. And because you're still doing it, doesn't mean your eyes haven't shut down. It just means that you're zoned out. It's now becomes zoned. So what's going on is that your brain is going automatic. Nothing is coming through. You're just watching something. You're moving because your brain is on automatic. But nothing is being processed. And that's what they're doing to our babies. They're teaching them how to use computers and not be alarmed or nothing is being processed while they're using computers. So they can go on doing this. They're creating robots. We have to be extremely careful about how we say we for the baby. If you say you for the babies, then you need to take a visit to your nearest school. How many of us do that? What are you teaching here? Do you understand that public schools are for the public? So even if you don't have a child in that school, if a black child is in that school, that is your responsibility. If you know sister girl ain't taking care of business, it is your responsibility to check on that baby. If she has an attitude, all right, cool, that's your baby, we got that. But right now, this is what's going on, this is what I'm telling you what's going on. And this is nothing new, this has been going on for the past 20 years. 20 years! The only reason it's coming to light now is because we have a lot of our babies being born with ADD. Being born with ADD.
I'm trying to hear her.
They cannot focus at birth. So right now it's coming up because they're trying to figure out a new drug to put out. So they continue on the assembly. We have to be adamant about what we're doing for our babies and where we're sending them. All of us work. I work. I'm a working mom. I work. My daughter goes to school with me. She's in the same school that I am. I understand all of that. But at the same time, we need to be proactive. And just because you didn't give birth to that child does not mean that child is not yours. The African way says that we are a nation. It doesn't matter if you gave birth to her. And you know our sisters are already messed up. They babies having babies. We're not built like that anymore. During slavery time, we can have babies back to back because our bodies were conditioned. We're not conditioned anymore because they're putting stuff in the soil. And even if you think you're getting organic stuff, it's not organic. So we're not built like that anymore. So our babies are having babies back to back and they're not giving their bodies a chance to rest. And so what they're producing are actual robots because they can't function. Because you haven't gotten your body accustomed to delivering. You haven't gotten your body accustomed to shifting over. Because you keep having babies back to back. It takes a year to 2 years before your body gets, never mind what the doctors say, they lies. It takes a year to 2 years for your body to become acclimated to having another baby. Everything has to shift back in place. It has to reorganize. Your blood has to reflow. It has to recoagulate. All of that has to go where it takes a year to 2 years for your body to get back to its normal size, to its normal action. So what we're producing now is robots. Even the older women, what you're producing now is a robot. We have to be extremely careful. I am passionate about the babies because I'm in the classroom every day. And when I tell you these babies don't think, they don't think. They don't know how to think. They've never been asked to think. Simple addition problems stumps them because they have this. Why do I have to think? Press a button and the answer's right there. Why do I have to open up a newspaper when I can get on the internet and all the answers are right there? There's no coincidence that all you gotta do is go on MySpace to find information. Everything you need is right there. Be careful about what you do. We all rush, oh, we gotta keep up with technology. Technology is killing our babies. And I say our babies because the melanin is being depleted. You don't understand what infrared light does to our melanin. And people think it's a myth, it's proven science. If you read the Melanite Children, they'll tell you about it. It's proven. So we gotta be extremely careful not to let loose our babies. And like I said, because you can give birth does not mean it's not yours. You are responsible for every baby you come across and do not educate. That's your responsibility, it's on you. And if sister girl get an attitude, you gotta educate her too. You gotta educate her too. And, well, it's my baby, and I get that every day. I get parents, I had a parent write me a letter, mind your business because you're not a teacher. Come on, you buying chocolate to take a test. I was reprimanding one of my students. Because she's in the morning, we get ready to take a test, and she's buying chocolate. Do you know what chocolate does to you in the morning? Forget about hyper. Do you know what caffeine does to a baby's body? It shuts it down. Caffeine is for energy. And in its natural form, it's supposed to make the body go over the time that it's supposed to shut down. In its natural form. We don't ever take caffeine in its natural form. Nobody in this country does that. Because if we did, then we wouldn't have such an addiction to it. We don't do it. Caffeine in its natural form is in the form of a coconut or in a cocoa plant. How many of us chew actual cocoa leaves? We don't do that. Because we have it in a chocolate bar. We have it in a drink. So we don't actually seek out the naturalness of anything we do. So what happens is that our body begins to revert because we have additives in those things. In order for it to taste good, they have to put chemicals in. So it can fool the brain into thinking that this is actually something good for me. Otherwise you wouldn't eat it. There's a law of nature that says in order for you to get the actual taste of something, you have to chew it at least 15 to 30 times. If you actually tasted some of the stuff you eat, you would never eat it. You would never eat it. Which is why we go and then it goes down really quickly. Because if you took the time to chew, you wouldn't eat that anymore. All I'm saying, I said all of that to say that we have to be extremely careful. I am very passionate about babies. Not only because I'm a mother, but because I see the cycle that's going on. And by the time I become to the age that I'm going to need to be taken care of, there'll be no one to take care of me. Because they've been conditioned to be factory workers. And just because you have what's so-called a high-paying job, doesn't mean that you're not a factory worker. I'm a factory worker. And I'm reconditioning myself to be a factory owner. And so we have to get into reconditioning our kids to be factory owners and to use other people's money. You want me to eat that chocolate? Good. Pay for it. Show me how you make it so they're not to slip in my little real stuff. That's how we gotta do. We gotta recondition the way we think. And it doesn't start when you get to school. We send our babies to preschool thinking they're gonna learn something that we didn't already teach them. From the time that baby gets up in the morning, the baby's learning. If you're still laying in the bed while your baby's up, they're learning. That's what we do. We don't get up in the morning. We lay in the bed for an hour or two. And then we get up. If the God is resting, and I don't care, and this is, we're not getting off on the personal stuff, but if the God is resting and the earth is up, the baby learns that that's where the God's supposed to be rested and the earth is supposed to be up. No. We get up all at the same time. You want to rest? Rest when the babies leave home. Because they have to understand that in order for us to get, there is no mystery. We all got to get up. We all got to get up. The first thing my babies do in the morning when you get up, we get up. We don't run to the bathroom. We look at each other. Because something happened in your sleep. So I got to check my baby's eyes. I got to make sure she's breathing okay. I got to make sure that whatever cycle went on, we okay with it. And we all on the same page. That's the family way. And so you got to your house. Because some of them don't get that. They don't get the stare in the face. I scare my students when I look them in their face. What are you looking at? That's the first thing they say to me. What are you looking at? I'm looking at love. Oh, Miss Earth, you crazy. Because they don't get that. We gotta get into the habit of doing things the African way. Regardless of who says what. The African way is the best way. There is nothing in existence that we did not create. There is nothing. So we gotta get our babies acclimated to what it is that they're supposed to do. Not what we reward them in doing, what they're supposed to do. I don't have to give you an allowance because you didn't earn it. The African way says that if you work, then that's when you get your allowance. How am I giving you something for nothing? How am I doing that? Oh, you did good in school. You're supposed to do good in school. I reward you for doing good in school. So that's saying to you, oh, you went the extra mile, so I gotta give you a little something. No. That's what you're supposed to do because you are king, you are queen. You are supposed to exceed to earn your crown. Nobody gets put on the throne. Don't let that lie be told. We weren't all kings and queens. Some of us had to work. But whatever we did, we earned our place on the ladder. And it was for the good of the what? Community. And we got to get back to that thing. And don't make the mistake. I hear a lot of God say we should be bickering. We have to. We have to bicker. We have to because that's the only way we're going to find out who's thinking what. And that's the only way we're going to weed out those who are not thinking like us. If nobody ever bickered, if nobody ever argued, then we wouldn't know who's amongst us that are thieves and liars. So we have to bicker. We have to argue. We have to find out who thinks like us. And for those that don't think like us, when we weed them out, we can't leave them on the side because they still us. They still us. We got to re-educate to bring them back to the community. That's how it's done. That's always been done. Please watch your babies. They are beginning of a danger. They are at the beginning of a dangerous cycle. And we don't want no more robots in this nation. We got enough pigs.
Leaving now.
Oh, CLO. I'm sorry.
Well, we lost the
Oh, all right, P. I just want to give a few announcements on reference to P-Lump Cypher. I want to apologize for the last Parliament here because of the fact that this element did not permit us to have it. But however, the Parliament is on for this next Sunday. Okay, everyone in the cypher now has been there, so I don't need no give you no type of press. And my money's actually working. All right, hopefully everybody.
My money for going and making that long script. And I'm knocking on the door, ain't no dog, mysterious dog.
Treasury, bro. And once again, I apologize. You know, for those who did go.
And I'm going over and more black folk. You don't have no hope. And he didn't have all of that.
Hold on. Let's stop.
Are you finished? Let's go on. And once again, you know, that was Myra, and not only Myra, it's the type of stuff that we want to call it out. And we don't have to get okay, and also we know that following that, they're going to have to be on follow the physical game. All those who have to be taken now, get them at the next follow. All right? Is there anything else? That the pre-long policy.
Everyone is sitting in the chair, acting, put the chair over here in the corner. You know how this thing is. I would also like to ask that one or two things. Everybody leave at the same time, because I need to shut this generator down. I need some help. I need some speakers to go back. I'm not gonna ask somebody to get downstairs. I'm not, I don't have to do it. It's a weekend. Somebody check downstairs, make sure the restrooms are proper, no mess downstairs. And I think we could get together and maybe sing a little enlightenment too, you know what I'm saying? But that always makes us feel a little better as we move on.
I don't see a lot of bills.
Anything else?
No, I'm sorry about it. My building, I forgot to mention that we're having a study. It's going down on March 14th. If your baby's not participating, please come and support. Please come and support. There's no fee to come inside. Just come and sit with us. We have a few slots open because some people bow out. But it's going down. Give the babies your support. Let them know that we care about them and we love them. It's March 4th. And also, the Destiny's having our dance on
March 24th.
March 24th. So 3 weeks later, we're going to do it again. And we want to have our dance on March 24th. And the tickets are available. This is a fundraiser, so come with your pockets full. And we look forward to seeing you. Please support the baby. Anybody want any more information about the study? Get back to you. Maybe clothes and everything out there. We're going to show you dates.
Until you fall.
All right.
Peace, man. How you feeling? What's going on with sound? What's going on with the range of Still at it. This one ain't seem to be seeing it. So it just still show up, even if it wasn't there. So I'm gonna try to burn it in the inside. Start backing up.